What do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the persecution is as I think the persecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in two different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope I didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It was Mr. Wright. It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. Clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea again. A plea bargain. Plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we are dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. What's up, everybody? My name is John Franco, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney! Last time... I'm really bad at this. What did you... Oh, wait, yeah. We, did some, investigating with fingerprints and all that. It's in my mind. It has been a long time, so... by the time I'm recording this, I haven't even posted a single part from episode 5, from the chapter 5 of the game. I've been really busy, so that's why. So at the time I'm recording this, I haven't even posted one. I haven't posted a single part of Ace Attorney since I finished the trial with Von Karma. So yeah, I'm a little bit behind there, but it's good to be back doing stuff. Anyway. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid we'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim Bruce Goodman was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow. This is one messed up trial. Oh, man. I didn't mean to do that. Today I will present evidence related to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's oh boy, I can't even read. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart, he sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. That's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness to the day of the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murder, sir. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what I'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose action others couldn't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgewood, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I'm part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. Oh boy. Oh. You can't fault him for his lack of enthusiasm. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted suspicious men on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, and then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim's Detective Goodman attacked you. Do unto the others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Although it's not mine, okay. Mr. Meekins, you work in the Journal Affairs departments, do you not? Yes, sir. My first time playing with the keyboard and mouse things because I don't have any more. My controller is out of battery and I forgot to charge it. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary dot. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which means many officers were given special tasks none ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by Chief of Detectives, sir. To make sure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around. I'm so sorry, I'm so sleepy. But I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the okay. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card. Am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! This one, right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's 4989-596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh. But the number is shown as being used twice. Please explain the witness. It's a real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir. That's when I spotted the man on the security screen. Okay. So, you were attacked. Could you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife. Detective Goodman pulled up a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging up on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. And that's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus struggling to detain him. That's how I got his gash on my hand. Maybe if you just keep your cool in hand, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. What exactly did you mean when you said you did it? I know I don't look like the type, but I'm really into Kung Fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then... The next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir! After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me away. About what time did you regain consciousness? Nope, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report of the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice, or I mean, nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can't all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murder really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekings? With regards to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gunn delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief delivered it? What is that, a videotape? Yes, sir! That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. I was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Second communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. It was the video with you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word, murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? So we see the Blue Badger. Oh, jeez. There's a man. And of course, his face is being hidden perfectly. And now we have Meekings. And boom! And of course, controller back. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that ringing piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's a Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and some sort of activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Makings? Yes, sir. I do wish, sir. The mystery man. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Jeez. What is this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradiction. That's where I'll have to start. The mystery man. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter? The latter, but you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I'd bet my badge on it. Oh, don't bet that. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Makings. Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprint, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir. And this too. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. Sir, if I may say something. Please do, after all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the video? There is a problem. Regarding the video contained in this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction. Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I have ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right things. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Noted, Mr. Wright. Please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction? Oh, jeez. Let's fast forward so it can be like played at 60 frames per second. That's so weird. Alright, so first thing. Oh, jeez, that's not what I meant to do. Oh. Alright, so, yeah. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to pause. Oh, it's B to pause, okay. So, right here, he drops a glove. Do you guys remember that last time we had to, there was a glove that we had to investigate? And there's also like this thing. There was something in this locker. I do remember that. That's so creepy. Look at that. Look at the Mickey. He's like holding up his hands. He's like, dude, don't hurt me. And then and then he's knocked down. And then right here. Oh. Gotta do all of that again. It's kind of funny how like how let's say how can I say that? Convenient for like the suspect says being completely hidden because of that, or the blue badger. Okay, so the contradiction is this thing. The thing that's strange about this video, it's got to be this. Hmm? Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What you are looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman. Oh yeah. Whew. I almost walked right into the defense traps. I placed him under arrest. Rats. I need to slow down and tackle these things one piece at a time. Now what do I do? Oh wait. Wait, was that not it? Maybe I was too fast. I do remember that this was really strange. Is it the glove? thing that's strange about this is, no, that's not it. That's not it. Was it? Oh, wait. Is it the knife? Is it the knife? Okay. Wait, let's return to cross examine. Okay. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know. The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goldman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprints. This is... unless defense can find problem with it. Oh. Okay. I'm trying to remember. This is a problem. I'm trying to remember with my memory because I remember this. This part took me a good while. Aha, there we go. There we go, that's okay. There we go, rewind. The thing was already open. Officer Meekings. Sir? Do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprints if it's a match. The light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Order, order. What's the meaning of this? Very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have been broken down. Of course. I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor. Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something jam the sensor? Say, there's something else that seemed out of place in the video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's just play the video once more. Okay, that went, I didn't even press A. That went by fast. But yeah, okay. Now that we have the other clue, it's the glove. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Oh, please fast forward this. Why does it have to be so slow? And it's so awkward without the music. Tweep. Now let's rewind. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when we can be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and locker and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, then my tie... But the object wouldn't have to be extremely thin to fit. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to be to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene. There just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defendant please present the relevant evidence? What was in the insulator that was stuck in the locker door? Well, that would be the rubber glove. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. We can be sure that it was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekings? Sir? It would appear so, sir. Order, order, order! So, are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, is not Detective Goodman? Don't be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility, and nothing more. The victim in this video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekings, please testify about this. Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. Mystery Man 2. There's one other thing that proves that the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due to for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There's only a few cases up for transfer there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now, let us move on to the cross-examination. So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir. Couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it... but what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time, it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he was just betting. Everything seems for contradiction. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we got. Let it be known that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is not here. So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again. I mean, is that meant? Oh, jeez. I got the wrong color, kid. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth, it must be so difficult for him. Okay. Bum, 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 da, bum, da, bum, da, bum, da, bum, bum. Mm-hmm. Bum. Okay, so let me just check this again. Okay. Okay, I didn't want to skip that. What they say? Okay. Not that prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's been on holidays. Being a prosecutor, he could hide evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murder? Shh, don't stare at him. Okay, that's why he said that. Okay. Earlier, okay. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he was just panicked. Everything stems from the contradiction. Let's find them out. Okay. But the card was found in the parking lot. Wait one moment, Miss Officer Meekins. I don't get waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report. It's only half complete. It shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order! So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order! Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room, Officer Meekins, encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the lock in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes? What is he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also a fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, it seems you've finally realized exactly what you've gone to such length to prove. Explain to yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murder being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed at the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? Where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else, Lana. What do I do? I must get myself out of this mess. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. That's so awkward. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean, Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reasons to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have to testify. What is his or her name? Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? Can't let Edward know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witnesses subpoena. What? Would the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. Whew. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana? You're the one who knows everything. You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? The Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? We're not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. Oh. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerves, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. That was it. You called me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey! Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh. You mean this, right? My apologies, detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident. But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. Can't believe you, the Chief Prosecutor, were a witness in this case. And in that case, Miss Sky was a witness? Oh. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now I've read you yourself, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name is in here? Isn't there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana! This SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as... the Joe Dark killings. The... Joe Dark... No. No, Lana. That's over with. No! Emma, wait. She ran away. You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jane Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gunt, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. People in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Better take a good look at this file. To be continued.